Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome in, welcome in. All right, I'm trying to get this. Actually, you know what? Let me get my second laptop. Hold on. All right, we gonna get some music in the background. We can't see our chats through our phones, so we gotta sit here and go through some stuff, right? How y'all doing? Welcome in. I'm not used to working in silence, so we're about to change the vibe of that in a minute. Let me see. Let me hit a speaker here. It might not be that clear for you guys, but it'd be clear for me. All right, feel free to say hi in the chat. How y'all doing? Welcome into Jenergy Innovation. This is episode 2, right? Yes, episode 2. And we're gonna get started on talking a little bit about Photoshop in a little bit. I'm gonna play around with some designs as we get some people in here and wait and hang out and show y'all just what I'll be doing in Photoshop, and then we'll go through a lesson in a bit. But Jen needs background music, so I can't focus without background music. That's how I work most of the time. So we're gonna put on reggae, soca dance. Sorry about that, it was kind of loud. Okay. How we sound out there? Let's see.
Good morning or good afternoon.
Y'all gonna hear my Saturday morning house mix. Hold on.
Welcome to Saturday Morning House with DJ Jen and the team.
Alright, we're gonna get started.
Dope asset, yo JD.
We're gonna get started shortly. I just wanna get a second laptop going because, as we all know, Twitch has been twitching and we can't see our chat at all. At all. Can I be my own moderator? How does that work? I'm just curious. Oh, I gotta switch. Is this battery good? Yeah. I should have turned on my other computer, but it's okay. Could y'all hear me out there loud and clear? I'm streaming from a different location, so I want to make sure I'm good. Alright, it says excellent. Who's in here? Alright, we might change the location where the music's coming from being outside my phone. I need to see something. How y'all doing? Alright. Who's in hall? It is so weird that we can't navigate through our streams like this. This is crazy. I'm just trying to see what's going on. Alright, so I see a couple people lurking. Alright, so let's get started. We'll get back on the tunes and we'll do what we have to do. Let me put on some music.
Happy Saturday. We're going to get in some vibes right now. We're going to have a good time. So I want to keep on a similar vibe to Yo JT. She dropped some tunes. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on today? What's going on? Alright. So
we're going to hang out for a bit. Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly or if there's anything weird going on or anything like that. What I'm going to do right now is work on some flyers while we wait for some people to come in. Let's see. Alright, so if y'all ever want to know how I work on my flyers and what happens and what goes on and all that other good stuff, so when I'm working in Photoshop, I gotta grab one more thing. Hold on. I just realized I'm missing something that I need. And when I'm working in Photoshop, right, I open up all my files. These are some files I've been working on lately. Right, give me 1 second. Let me just grab something. Alright, so sorry about that. I had to grab my hard drive. So I don't store a lot of my files on my computer directly. I store them on an external drive when it comes down to like a lot of my design files, because I usually use multiple computers when I'm designing. So sometimes I just like to have them in a different place just to make it easier for myself. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna work on some of these flyers that I'm supposed to do for Saturday Morning House. We'll get into the lesson for today, which again is about Photoshop tips and how to basically use color theory and other things like that to kind of get things going. Again, feel free to say hi in the chat. I cannot. It's kind of hard to monitor. I'm looking around everywhere, but StreamYard actually has its own chat, so I think that'll work out better for me today. But all right. So yesterday, I've been personalizing all the flyers for my Saturday Morning House to give everybody an individual flyer so they could promote themselves. So these are IG formatted flyers, right? Because they're a little square, right? They're what we say 4x4. So what I want to do with this, right, eventually is change them over to being like kind of more like a landscape design and making it fit the whole entire screen, like when you post in your stories and other things like that later on. And so I'm gonna work on this flyer because I want to add one for myself. So now I have a cheat sheet, right? Because Jen, have her own files of photos of herself. So what I'm going to do right now, well, let me switch back over. Give me a second. I apologize about that. It's multi-screens. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to switch over here. I'm going to open up my external drive. I'm looking for a, try to get better at organizing files. I know Kish is always telling me this. But anyway, so, my DGen files are here. And I want to grab one of my previous flyers that I did for myself. So that I can just pop the picture on there. I ain't got to edit it or do all that right now. I want to make one for myself. I haven't done that yet. So I have flyers in here of myself of shows I did or shows I created for myself. So I'm going to create a quick flyer for myself for Saturday Morning House for next week. And what I want to do is stamp my time on here of when I stream every week, so that way it's already there and available. So we're gonna grab one of my old flyers from something. I don't know which one. I'll just get one of these. This is fine. Actually, I have another one. Yeah. So if y'all see me looking side to side, I got two screens. But this is the beautiful Yo JD, who I believe was lurking in the chat a few minutes ago, and she didn't say hi. I'm just saying. I pointed you out, right? So that was in there. Let me see. I know there's a way to add music on here while I'm talking, but I want to put this on YouTube, and I'm not trying to have it take it down for whatever reason. So I think, let me see, which one of these I got? Something on I can use. Let's see. All right, let's see what's on this one. And big up to the lurkers out there. All right, so I'm gonna use this image. Fine. I can use any image I want of myself, right? That I have. They're my files, right? And I want to take this image of me. I'm gonna swap out Yo JD. Bye, sis. Right? And I'm gonna add myself on here. Drag and drop. There we go. Jen is on the flyer now. Ain't gotta do nothing much because I already edit the flyer. I mean the image. I do want to move some stuff around that this is not on top of it. Alright, let me clean up some of this stuff here. I was wondering what's all this stuff on my desktop that's from school when I'm working with my classes. Right. I'll put a new folder. And so I'm letting y'all into my world right now. This is what we doing right now. My design world, my teaching world, what I do. Again, feel free to say hi. Y'all being shy today. Or I'm not seeing the chat. Which one is it? Let me see. Maybe I'm not seeing the chat. Let me double check. Why can't I see the chat? Oh, there we go. Hey, Jonah. I'm like, it's taking forever to load when people are saying stuff. What's going on? Hey, Jonah, how you doing? I actually have your layout on one of my slides for later. I'm just waiting for everybody to kind of roll on in here. It does take some time to people. I'm going to put a message out on IG for everybody getting here who is interested. I think they forgot. Right. Alright, so I don't need this anymore. You're present in class. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you, Jonah. How's your Sunday going so far? Alright. So this is just Photoshop. Y'all know how I do. Good out. Oh, you heading home. Okay. You got an early start for a day. Alright. So I'm editing one of my Saturday morning house flyers because I told my team we're gonna create personalized flyers for like the times that we play. So that way we have them on hand. So I made one for Yo JD already. She comes on every now and then at 12 on a Saturday, so she has her own personalized flyer. I'm making one for myself because I didn't do that. I made one for everybody else but me. I've been told Bam Bam, the DJ, to send me an image so I could do his, but he didn't do it yet. He told me to steal something off his IG. I'm like, I want a high quality image. You had an early start. I just got up not too long ago. I had a lazy start because I know tomorrow I'm gonna be busy as hell, and I'm taking advantage of it. You want me to make one for you? What day you want? You could come on what's next Saturday? I say next Saturday we have 12 is usually empty. If you want next Saturday, I most definitely can make one for you. Put you on there. I think I actually have to switch around my time eventually. Maybe not. I think I should be make it back in time. My daughter has, but that will be with me and Whirlwind. We'll talk about that. But it has to be later, like 3. Then it'll be after like the last DJ. But only thing, be mindful that I might not be 100% in there, like present, because I teach in between 5 and 11, so that's my nap time after 3. Just to say, it's my nap time. I'm an old lady. I gotta recharge the Jenergy energy. Like that's what that is. So that goes there. So we do 3 is fine. 3 is perfectly fine. So that's fine by me. You can shoot me a photo and I'll make one for you as well. Shoot me a photo. So since you said that, I can make my flyer for next week. Oh, you have a real okay. All right. Gotcha. Well, do your thing, I understand. I gotta get out in the real world more now that my daughter's older. It's okay. I get it. Believe me, I have my calendar like on hand all the time. UK web boy. I need real photos, man. We need real photos up in here. We cannot. No. How I'm gonna? I'll put a. So if I do a flyer for UK web boy, right? This is what it'll be. Let me see. We're gonna do something real quick. Let me save this one for me. Real quick. Alright. Put my name here. And we'll make UK Webboy a flyer. And we're going to put a question mark there with a box. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put a question mark with a box. That's what we're going to do for you. Alright, let me save this. What? We don't know what you look like. You've been hiding for 1,000 years. I don't know why you hiding like that. What happened? Who are you running from? Why is this not responding? 1 second. Having a tech issue. Oh, there you go. I don't know what pop-up boxes are coming up over here. It's weird. Yeah. Yeah, but right, hopefully that worked. Let me see. Yep, it did. All right, great. What about child services? For you? You the one who's the invisible man. Right? Alright, so since we got a couple people in here, I guess I'll get started on what I want to teach. I'm also going to order lunch like a teacher, so I'm going to eat lunch here with y'all, right? Because we're not streaming too long. But I do have a lesson for today. But I do see a few people here. So again, this is a flyer for Saturday Morning House. And let me close this one out. Another flyer I wanted to create. Alright, so we're going to go back to something we started working on last week. So quick recap, and I'm going to put my slides up in a minute. So last week, we started out talking about overlays here, right? And what we started to work on was coming up with ideas and themes and color schemes, right? Color schemes are vitally important when you're designing for anything. And we're going to talk about color theory a lot more in depth today to kind of get things rolling. So let me actually send a post out really quickly to a few people who I know was like, I gotta be in there. So, but we're gonna do some color schemes, right? And we're gonna do talk about what that is. And today's focus is building on. What did you message me, UK Webboy? You can hear me? Thank you. I appreciate you. So today's idea and theme of what we're covering is mostly about scene design. So a lot of streamers right here, like, you know, I know we have our overlays, we have our graphics, we have this, but what I see is a lot of clash of colors on the platform. I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. I'm just trying to be a support to the sorry, I'm trying to do multitask, to the community, because this is my actual job, right? My job is I'm an instructor and I teach in a high school and college capacity, so higher education as well. I teach computer science, I teach design, I have been teaching graphic design for many, many years. And what our goal is to show you guys how to like create some really nice designs and things that you want to work for your streams. So last week, as a quick recap, and I'm gonna go to the agenda real quick. I'm a real teacher, so I got a whole slide. You know, we got PowerPoints, right? So again, today's Jenergy Innovation. Let's chat about quick tips in Photoshop, and let's go over some quick things here. So our agenda for today is who am I as an instructor. We're gonna do a brief interlude into that because we did that last week. We ain't doing all that, right? Recap over our overlay, which I showed y'all, the Soul Raid, which was a theme that Mixmaster Calvin came up with, and it was so amazing that he actually did that. I thought it was really cool. And then we're going to look at how to create your scenes, right? Using some tips, using some graphics, using some things, using some resources out there. So really quickly. So this is my daughter, and she talks a little bit about me being a teacher. I'm not going to play that video today, but I'll just go through my stuff. So again, y'all know me as DJ Jen Jen, but my name is Jennifer Ward. I run a organization called artistickids.org where I teach kids how to create vector design characters, graphic design, and other things. I also teach adults, and I have a website, and I'll show you guys that later, called Miss Ward Online, where I teach Photoshop skills, web development skills, and app development, right? So this is a little bit about my background. So these are some of the places I worked at. The High School Graphic Arts was the first school I started teaching. Urban Assembly is another school I used to teach at in high school environment. I kicked off a boot camp in graphic design and web development at BMCC here in New York City. And then covered things like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and web development, right? Right. So get your friends and buddies in here. Let them know that we're here to learn. And I'm going to try to do this consistently every Sunday. If I'm not here Sunday, that means I'm very, very busy doing something else. But I'm going to try to do this every Sunday because it's actually pretty fun. And I like sharing knowledge with y'all. So put it out there. So design is intelligence made visible. You have to intelligently put images together, colors, all of that, right? Things that we see in a unique way that your audience will be captivated by and they'll take it in and want to sit there and look at your stream, right? I say DJ Jonah, if he's still in here, right? Oh, you're still here. I see you. Does a really good job, and Black Girl Gamer signed off on this. Selectress Mistress Chris signed off. They're all designers, right? We're putting together visuals that captivates the audience. Yes, we're all DJs and we love music, and our music captures our audience, right? It really does. But you want to create a certain mood and tone and atmosphere for your audience, and it's not just about your, the music itself. Even though, like, we want to kind of think that. We do, right, Jonah? We want to kind of think like, oh, it's the music. They just hear from my music. Not all this. The visuals also speak to the people, right? Speak to the people. So having together some good visuals to support that will help your stream and help your stream grow, right? I'm not gonna lie, for the last couple of years, I've been negating against doing the whole green screen thing. It's not that I was negating against it. It's just because I'm like, I design all day with students, for myself, as a business. Like, I gotta go design some app interfaces later, right? I didn't really want to spend a lot of time designing on Twitch. I just want to come play music. But if I'm going to talk about what I do as an instructor and want to teach you guys, I have to show examples of that, right? So now my what I'm doing is trying to integrate that into my streams, where I show you guys what I'm capable of doing as a designer and a DJ, right? And putting that out there and then sharing that with the community. So again, design is intelligence made visible. So intelligently put some stuff together and make your audience buy into that is what you need to do. All right, so a picture is worth 1,000 words. I'm going to continue with this quote every single week because your visuals on your stream can say a lot to your audience about what you do, right? And it creates that whole captivating feeling. We want to be lost in the visuals, right? Along with the music, right? It's a vibe, as we say, as DJs. It's a vibe. And we want to continue creating that vibe, not just through the music, but through visuals that can support us as streamers as well. We're creating TV shows, right? All right, so real quick, and I know I went over some of this last week, but I'm going to run through this really quickly. So Photoshop allows you to edit and enhance images digitally. You can use brightness, colors, contrast, levels. You can remove blemishes, unwanted images, and a lot of other things that you want to do. Basically, you can make yourself look like you're a model and you're not really a model, right? Yes, we're broadcasters, exactly, Jonah. And, like, we're not radio broadcasters where we can hide in our sweatpants and whatever. We got to put on an image. Look, I come on a little hat and my little outfits and makeup and get myself visually ready for the camera. Now, if I was just doing this as a radio show, I wouldn't have to go to take those extra steps. But that's something I gotta do, right? So that's what I've been doing, right? Hi, Selectress Mistress Kush. My teaching assistant has arrived. What are we eating for lunch today? Because I have to put an order in. Alright. So, yeah. So, Photoshop is a great tool. So, discussing with Selectress Mistress Kush, which you guys know is my right hand. Hi, DJ Keith Bowen. We're not going to talk about Photoshops here on a Sunday, right? This first series, right, is this episode 2 of Photoshop. After this, we'll do something in Canva. And then I want to spend some time also doing something about merch. And, like how to design your merch. Where can you use things aside from Stream Elements or whatever that thing is called that charge an arm and a leg for your merch, right? There's a lot of other third-party platforms that you can host and put your merch on, and they will do the drop shipping for you. So I'm gonna redirect you guys to some of those tools and things that I use as well. Oh, we having gyros and garlic fries? Okay. I was thinking about just ordering a Subway sandwich. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what I want right now. I'm hungry. I didn't eat yet. The teacher didn't eat. Y'all gonna send me an apple? Right? You're cooking the rice and peas? Yeah, without me? Alright, I gotta do it too. Right. I'm gonna cook rice and peas later as well. Alright, so back to Photoshop. I see, again, shout out to DJ Keep Bowen in the check-in, DJ Jonah, Selectress Mistress Kush. Again, put the memo out there, let people know that Jen is here to share information, right? So, as I said about Photoshop, it's a tool, right? We can design on pretty much Canva, we can design on Photoshop, we can design in Illustrator. There's some other one that Selectress Mistress could put out there was P something, I can't remember what it's called, P whatever. I don't know, some other thing. But there's something called Pixar. There's a lot of other things out there that you can design on, right? Aside from Photoshop and Canva and other things, right? But you have to know how to visually put things together to make it work, right? But today we're going to discuss mostly about Photoshop. Dag Keybone, let me just grab my pack of cookies and some juice while we sitting here. Since y'all want to throw in here that Keybone is now making baked chicken, pinto beans, rice, callaloo, and coconut milk. What? With tomatoes, cucumbers sliced on the side. What? All right, let me get my cookies. Let me get my cookies. Yeah, you just had to do that. All right, let me get the cookies. Let me get the cookies. I'm a dream of what y'all eating right now. All right, so as I told y'all, Photoshop is a powerful tool. I showed this image last week. This is my family. This is my aunt, my uncle, my mama, and my mama's in pink, and my other uncle on the side in blue, right? This was a black and white photo that was deteriorated that I took into Photoshop and edit the pixels to integrate color, right? In here. So Photoshop is a very powerful tool. It depends on how you use it. Let me let y'all absorb that for a minute while I grab some cookies, because now I'm hungry and I'm jealous. Hold on. So I'm back. I didn't go far. I just grabbed my pack of cookies. It was nearby. I was just on the other side of the room. So I'm all set. I grabbed the bottle of ginger ale as well, right? So this is my family, right? Design in Photoshop, right? You hear the rustling? Right? You heard me walking around. Yeah, I didn't mute myself. I'm sorry. It's okay. Y'all ain't hear nothing bad. It's okay. No vibrations over here. No hard and soft skills. Let me stop. It's Sunday. All right. Let me jump into the rest of this. All right. So Photoshop is a great tool to use. It's a hard skill. All right. That you want to use to help you. And I don't mean hard and difficult, meaning like it's an actual tool, right? That you can create some really cool stuff. Y'all seeing me over here with the Sprite. Yes, I got that. Not Sprite, ginger ale, right? Yes, we got the bubbles. You want to learn about Photoshop? Dark Knight? DJ Dark Knight is in the building. Oh, you paid for it, but you can't, you never really used it. Yeah, you got to practice it, but it does take some time to kind of just like dive into it and learn it, understand it. I stole my daughter's cup if y'all was wondering what this is. Yeah, it's an amazing tool. All right, so we're gonna skip through some of this because we covered some of this last week. So I'm just gonna go over the interface of Photoshop really quickly again. So again, Photoshop has a main menu bar, tools, workspace, history panel, and layers panel. What makes Photoshop powerful for us as streamers is the layers panel, right? you want to break up all your content for your stream so you can layer it onto your stream so you can fit yourself in between the images, right? And a lot of you do a really good job at doing this. Jonah does a good job, DJ Keith Bowen, Selectress Mistress Kush, right? Putting your content together. Because essentially what we're creating on our stream, after I had a conversation with Whirlwind the other day, is we're creating a collage, right? We're creating a collage, and that collage is us putting together all those images and making it work for us, right? And creating illusion is what I call them. They're all illusions, right? So this is the workspace in Photoshop. So quick recap of last week, and I'm going to put up the images. I do have the video. We're not going to play it. But so last week, where's my slide? There we go. I don't know. I guess I mixed up my slides. So last week we created the Soul Raid overlay. And we added a lot of different elements in there. I'm actually going to reshare the screen. Right? And as I said, Photoshop is a really powerful tool in that aspect. And what makes it powerful is the layers, right? So on the Soul Raid, we put this together. We added the logo on top by choosing some typography that we liked. We stylized the typography by using this FX button here, which is, right, or we call it effects, right, inside of Photoshop. Okay, it's popping up on 2 screens. Double screen. Hold on, I gotta move some stuff around. I don't know why it says that. Here we go. All right. So yeah, so it gives us a layer styles panel, right? When we click on the FX button, it gives us capabilities of adding different types of, you know, styles to our texts or other things that we're interested in. You can make a larger stroke, thinner stroke, however you want to do it. It's really up to you. It is Photoshop, right? It gives you that power. So that's what we did last week. We created this overlay, right? And we talked a little bit about color theory, which I'm going to do a quick review of that before we diving straight into Photoshop. So we talked about what colors you should use in your design as well, right? And Selectress Mistress Kush, I think you're the one who chose purple, right? And then we say blue. We're going to go into why we chose those colors and why they were necessary in a minute. She said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm the one who chose the colors, right? All right, so that's what we did last week. And we added texture, right? We talked about what texture was, what type of texture you wanted, which was the hard texture versus the soft texture, right? We created a nice soft texture using the music notes in the background. It came out to be a really good design. So we're going to continue designing that today and creating a scene for it. So I'm going to need y'all help with that, generating some ideas on how to create that scene as well. Alright, so I want to dive into color theory really quick because to kind of backtrack, because I realized that this is where a lot of people kind of fall short on the platform. And I'm not throwing anyone under the bus or saying anything about anybody or judging, but from an instructor perspective who has been teaching this for 12 to 13 plus years, colors are just picked on this platform. What I mean by that, people pick their favorite color. Their favorite color is blue. Their favorite color is purple. Their favorite color is red. Their favorite color is this. Their favorite color is that. That's perfectly fine, right? If that's your favorite color. Because we don't realize the way we dress and carry ourselves, right? And do a lot of different things is based upon how we feel, right? We never really thought about those ideas and what that is, right? It's based upon how we feel. So when we're putting ourselves together in the morning, right? We're not just like putting on clothes. A lot of times it's a mood thing, like, right? We want to get dressed. We want to put on something cute. If we're in a good mood, we put on bright colors. If we're in a bad mood, we tend to put on dark colors, right? So if you're playing a certain genre of music, right, and it's supposed to be uplifting, how do you think the audience feels looking at a dark background? Now you're cooking on that, right? You're playing uplifting music. You're playing house music, let's say, and your audience is looking at a dark background, all mysterious and all that. How do you think your audience feels when they look at that dark color and you're playing uplifting music. Does that go with the genre of music that you're playing and that energy that you're trying to create, that vibe? Does it go with my cookie? What we try? What we try? What we try? Mistress Kush? Alright. Again, feel free to participate in the chat. It doesn't go with your ideas, right? It doesn't go with the genre. If you're playing house music, you should have some bright colors. Yeah, I'm eating cookies. If you're playing gospel, you should also integrate some bright colors, right? If you're playing R&B, right, and let's say it's all sultry and whatever, yeah, the purples and the blues, those calming colors work. And I'll go into why, right, in a minute. So, I actually want to play a video, and hopefully I can hear it. I'm going to test it in a minute. To talk a little bit more about color theory. Let me see. Hold on. I'm just working on setting it up. Right? So, we're going to watch a Disney. Disney does a really good job with putting together colors in movies, right? Everyone's seen this movie before, right? I'm assuming at this point. I'm just saying. I know we're all adults, but some of us have kids, right? Yes, you're a movie. You're a movie. Yeah. So everyone I hope seen this movie before, right? Which is sorry, I'm multitasking and it's not working out, but yeah. So we all seen this movie before, and it was a great movie, Inside and Out, right? And a lot of the colors they picked in there all based on emotion, right? So Disney does a wonderful job at picking characters to express a certain emotion, right? With their audience, to make them feel like they're part of that. As Jonah said earlier, we're broadcasters, right? We're running a TV show. We're not just DJs. We're not just DJs at all. We're running a TV show. So I'm going to put back on screen this video. Hold on one second. I'm just trying to get it up and running. And hopefully you guys can hear it. Let me see. Alright. Let me know if y'all can hear it. I'm going to hit play.
This is Walt Disney, and he created films that inspired millions and millions of people. And he chose colors carefully on each character to create a feeling.
Got a feeling about this one.
Today, I will be explaining you how Walt Disney and Pixar Studios chose carefully the colors from their characters from the very first movie, so from Snow White all the way to...
Could y'all hear it? I just want to make sure. Yes, the audio? Oh, okay, good.
So the last films like Moana and Coco. Color changes the way we look at characters, and this guy changed the way we portray colors. Let's take yellow for example. Yellow is often used for happiness or black for evil. Colors are often used to define who and how the character is. In the case of Disney, they usually use colors to show who the hero is while using bright and saturated colors like orange, yellow, blue, and green, while the villains have darker colors such as black, red, and purple to portray their evilness. Every color tells a story, so let's go over the most important colors that Disney and Pixar have used for their characters. Let's start with red. Red means strength, energy, determination, and passion. Fun fact, in the movies, comics, and stories, the protagonist or hero is usually dressed in red and often combined with blue. So let's start off with the Beast. The Beast is first dressed in red to show how bad and evil he is, and then he's dressed in blue, making its personality change visually, from bad to good. Miguel from Coco is also dressed in red, and it basically tries to portray that he's really passionate about music. Secondly, we have orange, and orange tries to portray fascination, creativity, deceit, enthusiasm.
I, Nicholas Wilde, promise to be brave, loyal, helpful, and trustworthy.
Even though you're a fox?
Nick Wilde portrays deceit at first, because everybody thinks of him as a liar. Moana dressed in orange, as she's enthusiastic about the sea and going out and exploring it. Yellow is probably one of the easiest ones to see. Yellow portrays joy, happiness, intellect, and energy. Belle, for example, she represents the intellect because she simply reads a lot.
No, don't obsess over the weight of life's problems. Remember the funny movie where the dog died? Oh, sadness, we don't have time for this. We'll just have to go around. Take this the scenic route.
Wait, Joy, you could get lost in there.
Think positive.
Okay.
Joy. I mean, what to say about her? She's simply joy, happiness itself. Green portrays safety, endurance, healing, growth, and hope, while blue portrays trust, loyalty, confidence, and stability. Cinderella at first, her dress was sparkling white, but in a moment of the movie, when she's dancing with the prince, the dress looks blue because of the lack of light. Then later, on the official remastered versions, they officially changed the color to blue. Now, as I was saying, blue is a really interesting color. Did you notice that every Disney heroine in some part of the movie wears blue-colored clothes? Today's society has made blue a really masculine color, but Disney have turned blue into a really feminine color. That is to say that its protagonists are strong, inspired confidence, and have value. And yes, those topics can also attribute to men. In short, Disney launches a message of empowerment, wearing blue to its heroines. Purple stands for power, nobility, luxury, and ambition. Let's take Aurora for example. Wait, hold on. Wait, what are you doing here again? There's something that Mr. Walt Disney was not thinking. Or maybe it's just their fault. Anyways, let's continue. White portrays light, goodness, innocence, purity. That's why Ernesto de la Cruz is dressed in white at the beginning of the movie, but then at the end, he's clearly not. And yes, this is a spoiler. Everybody uses colors in cinema, but Disney and Pixar are the ones that truly use it. The most important thing about them is that they aren't just selling entertainment, but they're also selling emotions as well. That's why color is so important. It's not just visually attractive, but it's also part of a story and the development of a character.
Alright, awesome. So again, we're characters on screen, right? As streamers, right? We're characters on screen. Excuse me, I'm mixing up the words. As streamers, and we want to be able to have our audience feel what we're trying to express with our music. So choosing colors that is appropriate for whatever type of mood you're trying to set for your audience is vital, right? Let me put myself back on there a little bit bigger, right? Yeah, I guess so. That works. All right, so last week we kind of dabbled in this a little bit, and I decided to take a screenshot and add it in here. So symbolic color meanings, right? So in particular, red is passion, excitement, pink is soft and reserved and earthy, purple is mysterious, right? Noble, glamorous, blue is wisdom, hope, reason, green is nature, yellow is hope, joy, and danger, right? Orange is warmth, kindness, and joy, white is truth and indifference, black is noble, mysterious, and cold, right? If we think about, I want you guys to take a minute, right? And write some of your favorite Disney characters in the chat. And then think about what type of feeling they gave you when you was watching that particular movie, right? Just think a little bit about that and write it in the chat. Who are some of your favorite Disney characters, right? Just write in there for a second and don't think about that. And I know you're like, we're talking about cartoons or we're talking about streaming. We're making TV shows, people. That's essentially what we are doing, right? We're making TV shows. So that's what's happening, right? Who are some of your favorite characters? I could say that if we think about movies or TV shows, like, all right, The Incredibles, right? So The Incredibles was an amazing cartoon, right? Ariel as well, right? So Ariel's colors, and I guess let me pull it up on the other side. I'm going to pull up some of the Disney characters, right? Give me a second. So if you think about Ariel, right? What was her color scheme? What does she have on? Yo JD is in the check. If y'all have not gave Yo JD a follow, make sure y'all do so. Again, she is a dope DJ here on the Twitch streets. And my sister of house is what I call her nowadays. Well, she's telling me now to make that a raid. Alright, but yeah. So I'm going to put up Ariel for a minute on the screen. And Ariel gives us this kind of like warm feeling, right? When we see her. Let me pull up the image, right? We on Google, right? So we have that purple. We have her red, right? And we all know what's unique about Ariel. Does she listen to her daddy? Nah, she don't listen to daddy at all, right? She don't listen to that. That's probably why you relate to her, Yo JD. Right? That's probably why you relate to her, right? She's very passionate about doing what she wants. She's a rebel, right? So that's probably why I relate to her as well. She did not listen to her parents. She did whatever she felt in her heart and what was right, but she generally was true to herself, right? Alright, so if you think about like us coming on stream, now I think honestly like some of us, and I see a lot of streamers do this and it's kind of cool. I'm not saying that you have to wear the same outfit all the time, but some people actually have like I guess like a branded shirt and stuff like that or whatever they do, right? But in particular, I'm not even talking about like what you wear. I'm talking about your outlook of you when you're streaming, like with your color scheme, right? So in particular, that's what we do there. So another character I would say, like if you think about Superman, right? He's known as like as trustworthy, so red and blue and stuff like that. And a lot of superhero characters actually are red and blue if you never took the time out to think about it, right? And we all know, if you think about, all right, so we have the Dark Knight here, DJ Dark Knight, and let's go on the Batman thing. He's dark and mysterious, naturally. That's just who he is, right? As Batman. And we don't really know, no one really knows much about Batman. His feelings are embedded. We know a little bit about his backstory, but what makes Batman Batman is his mysterious. So they create that feeling for you by having him in all black. But he has a certain energy about him, which is why the yellow stands out on him as well, right? So that's pretty much color theory wrapped in a nutshell. I'm gonna doing this usually I have my students do like a whole activity where they have to pick colors and try to pick feelings and all this extraness. Y'all can't do that, so we ain't doing that, right? No, we're gonna jump right into it. All right, so let's talk a little bit about scenes, right? Why did Jen babbled about colors so long, right? Colors are important, right? And what exactly is a scene? So a scene is a sequence where characters engage in some sort of action, right? Or dialogue. We are providing the dialogue either by speaking on our mic or utilizing the music for that, right? Scenes should have a beginning, middle, or end. Some people just have one scene. Some people have multiple scenes, right? We do have a beginning, middle, or end, right? We have an intro, right? Most of us. We have one that we're on scene, right? And we're portraying like whatever that mood and feeling is at that current time. And then we have an ending, right? To say thank you to everyone, which is cool, right? Create a mini story when you're streaming, right? And point out certain things by using certain colors. So I try to pick colors based upon those theories that I just told you guys about, right? So I know people probably looked at like, oh, she picked yellow and blue for Saturday Morning House. Now, logically, I picked those colors, right? For a particular reason. This is joy. Everyone knows Saturday Morning House is my happy raid, right? And I need that like medicine on a Saturday, right? It puts me in a good mood. It sets the tone for my weekend. It allows me to just like express and venture. And house music does that for me as well, right? The feeling of house music does that naturally when people hear it. So the colors that I use on Saturday Morning House is the yellow and blue because that's what those colors express. Yellow and blue creates that vibe, which is why those colors are chosen for Saturday Morning House, right? So when you're creating your scenes, right, for your stream, just think about what type of mood you're trying to build or create. I know some people have uniform scenes that they use all the time, right? And, you know, that's perfectly fine. But if you came on to play house music and it's just all dark all the time and all this mysterious stuff, you know, visually, it doesn't really excite the people to look and see exactly what's going on. Another thing I added into Saturday Morning House recently, thanks to, I'm going to say Blazy Plays, I don't know if he can hear me or not, right, is some cartoons. Because again, Blazy Plays is Selectress Mrs. Cook's little brother, and he talked me into using my green screens because he already knows that I have all these skills. So, I embedded a lot of cartoons, but the cartoons that I picked were particularly in that same color scheme realm, right? The Jetsons, and they had a lot of blues, they had a lot of yellows, they had a lot of energy in those cartoons, right? The DJ Dark Knight said my morning show is my happy place. Yeah, so put happy colors, right? Put exciting colors that will give your audience a vibe and they can connect with it and be able to go through the rest of the day with high energy, right? Utilize that to do that as well, right? Now, Club Wet Wet, which y'all know about Miss DJ Hot One's the hottie Club Wet Wet, right? Very sensual. Also have a lot of blue. She put blue in her color scheme. I thought she did a really good job because again, it's about she played on the term wet, right? Water, right? That sounds weird saying that on Sunday. She played on the term wet. Happy Sunday, people. Happy Sunday. Alright, so she played on the term wet, which is it's good because it's blue, but water is a very calming feeling, right? We all know that it's very calming when we're dealing with water, right? All right, let me stay out of that zone, right? So, all right, so about the colors that I chose on here. So, in particular, when I was building out my scene in reference to her overlay, I thought about the colors that she utilized in her overlay. And the reason why I want to point this out because I don't create all the overlays that I participate on, right? I'm on different raids. So I think about what scenes are supposed to go in there, right? Exactly, you came up with Splash. So in the scene in particular, the purple, the blues, you want to create something that connects with your audience and gives them that vibe. And I see a lot of streamers come on people's raids, and I'm not trying to I'm not throwing people under the bus, and I'm not judging anyone. But if someone gave you an overlay, right, and it's a good overlay, right, and I'm like, or it doesn't matter, but the colors of the overlay has a certain type of dynamics, try to, continue to do that dynamics, right? Like, continue to make that overlay stand out. Hey, Dr. Stretch, how you doing? Make sure y'all give Dr. Stretch a follow. He is a dope individual who streams, I'm not sure, or is probably thinking about streaming eventually, right? I'm over here trying to play music because I told y'all I can't work in silence. Get it. All right, so again, pick some colors that make sense. So if you see the Hot Ones overlay, right? I had the blues, the purples, the different aspects on there, right? That emphasized on what she had. Everything was in here. The pink, right? There's blue, there's purple. It matches. It has a whole theme on there. Oh, you stream on the radio. Okay. Well, you got to send me your link so I can catch you sometime. Alright, so another raid that stream that I do is Bang the Damn Drums, which I try to create a consistency in my design. So my overlays, again, has the orange, the blues, the yellows, right? Create high energy for my audience because I'm playing mostly Afrocentric music, right? A lot of banging, a lot of drums, a lot of all of that, a lot of high energy. I pick unique graphics that pretty much kind of go with that to create a certain type of vibe. And that also gives my audience a particular field. So I'm just kind of running through some of these really quickly, and then we'll go back to Photoshop. If Jonah's still here, again, Jonah's overlay, hands down, Black Girl Gamer said it the other day as well, that we love your overlay, we love your scenes that you gave us, we love all the assets that you provided for us for this, which again, one thing I say about Jonah's raid, because he gave out all these assets, it created a consistency across the board for every streamer, right? Where that energy and visual energy, right, was transferable between each and every streamer when they utilized all the assets that he provided, right? So that was an amazing job on his behalf. I think Kush and I have been kind of going back and forth about, like, for a minute about creating scenes for people when we also include the overlays. But we don't want to hold anyone, I think Jonah wrote in the email as well that it's optional, but it creates the vibe. Like, why not use it, right? It's there for a reason. It's valuable, and it gives the audience what they need to feel, which is we're high on the clouds in house music, right? So just like having all those assets and creating that feeling is amazing. The blues, again, high energy. The sun we all know brings energy to our soul, right? I could be having a badass day, I'm not feeling good or something wrong, but to go outside and see the sun on your face and feel that energy, right? Does something to your soul. So using yellows, especially with something like house music, is very powerful, right? Yes, we know you obsessed with you. Like I told you, Jonah, we had a whole phone conversation, probably, I don't even know, video phone conversation about your overlay, probably for about an hour or plus. Is what we did. Yeah, so good raise, high five to Jonah for that. And he's new to designing, which is amazing, right? But you have an eye for design, if you didn't realize that. You just, it's natural for you because I guess you're very observant visually. And you didn't even realize it. But now you're making it happen. So we're all proud of you for doing that. Alright, one of the other quick raids I was on recently, Boomerang Raid, they gave me a logo, and this was their logo, right? And I knew, you know, everybody know the Boomerang, Australia, so I associated with Australia. So what I was told from the organizer is like a high, happy place of different DJs being boomerang across the world playing music, right? So I wanted to also add in that high energy, that passion for music, the reds, the pinks, the blues as well, and bring that energy to life. Alright, so, not thank you yet, right? So we're going to head back over into Photoshop, right? And I need y'all to help me out. And I'm going to show you guys some quick tips, like skills and tools and stuff like that on how to create a scene. And I'll give y'all some of it, right? So again, if you want to learn like more Photoshop things like blemishing and editing and other things like that, I do host classes on MissWardOnline.com. So I'm not trying to say thank y'all and I'm kicking y'all out yet. So I'm going to show y'all what that is real quick. So I do have a website where I'm going to be hosting classes on Zoom. I'm going to put the new links and dates up for those classes. I do teach web development as well. So you guys will, I'll put out that information on my Instagram. If you haven't followed my Instagram yet, it's DJ_GenGen. And if you haven't followed my other page, which I'll be streaming more instructional content, it's called Miss Ward Online. You can also, Miss Ward Online is my other Twitch handle, is in the chat. It should pop up every now and then. And you should be able to grab that information. Alright, so we're going to jump back into Photoshop. Do y'all have any questions right now about colors before I kind of go into that? Any questions about colors, ideas, any thoughts? Alright, DJ Dark Knight is following. Thank you. I appreciate you. Don't laugh at me. I stole my daughter's cup. Okay? It's ginger ale. No drinks today. It's Sunday. I drank enough for the weekend. Alright. Oh, Yo JD says she chilling. Thank you, Yo JD, for being here. So, this Soul Raid overlay, again, we made last week. Selectress Mr. Kuss, Mixmaster Calvin, a couple other people, DJ Hot One, all contribute to sharing ideas in the chat about building it and designing it. And we kind of went along with doing this, right? So, let me finish this up. So, again, we had different layers in here broken down, right? Of things. So, the next step for this overlay, right, is, and I'm actually going to point this out because a lot of streamers do this, right? This is an overlay in Photoshop. I want to save it as a flat image, right? So I'm going to do File, Export as PNG, which is fine, right? Dual screens is driving me nuts right now. Hold on a second. Is it going to? Oh, it did work. Okay. So let's say I have this. I'm saving it as a PNG. And hopefully it went through, right? Alright, so I'm going to pull up my files. It should have went to Documents. Where did it go? Yeah, it went to Documents. So I'm going to open up this file again, right? As a PNG. It's now a flat file, right? Now, this area in the middle, what do we normally do with it? Are we supposed to leave it as one complete image? No, right? We have to make this area transparent. So the quick way to do this in Photoshop, I normally just use the magic wand, click here, and it makes a selection. Hopefully you guys can see that, right? What I call the crawling ants. Anything with these little lines around it or dashes are called selections, and it helps you pick pixels out to kind of remove them or do different things with them, right? So I'm just gonna, I selected it, I'm gonna press delete because I don't need it. And now I have an open area for where my scene is being built, right? Now, I'm going to build my scene separately in another file, but we're going to put the scene in it in a way so you can see what it looks like as an example, right? So I'm going to save this PNG file now with the transparent area because I got a lot of files that, again, I'm not throwing people under the bus, that had no transparent area. And I'm like, and for those of us who are busy all day and just want to jump on for your raid and play for you, and we come on and we see an area that's not, you know, transparent, it's kind of difficult, right? We got to go back to Photoshop or whatever tools to kind of get rid of those areas. All right. So what scene should I build for this? What do y'all think? I think last week, didn't what's his name? Mixmaster Calvin wanted like a bedroom scene or something like that. Should we go along with that? Or what do y'all think? What scene should it? So the Soul Raid, I think his idea was like a R&B relaxing type of music raid. I guess I don't know. What do y'all think? What is she doing? Jazz bar? Okay, that sounds cool. All right, so there's a couple of ways we can do that. I'm gonna show y'all two different types of designs, right? That I use. So I'm gonna go to File, New Document. That should open up, right? Well, it was taking so long. All right. For some reason my double screen keeps popping up on opposite sides. It's kind of annoying. All right, so let me get rid of that for a second. All right, so I always work in 1920 by 1080. That's the size of your screen, people, on when you're streaming, right? That is the size of your screen, right? So, and again, it's in pixels, not inches. I was dying the other day because I was in Black Girl Gamer's stream, and one of the, I'm not trying to, again, throw anybody in bus, but someone said that, oh yeah, we designed dots per inch. I was like, what? I said, no way we designed dots per inch. It is most definitely pixels. We are on a screen. We're not printing anything. Dots per inch is for printing, right? So 1920 by 1080 is the size that I'm using, right, to build out my scene. Pixels. Pixels, right? And again, pixels are the square areas on your computer of the colors coming together to create the images that we see, right? And that's there. So, she said a jazz bar. Let's see. So we need some resources, right? So I'm gonna give y'all some images. Let's see. What website could we use real quick? All right. So I'm gonna go to unsplash.com. And let's say I want a bar, right? Unsplash.com is a website that you can pretty much use any stock photo that's on here. If you want to use a realistic photo, that's really up to you, right? So I'm typing bar. What? I don't know how that D got in there, but bar. That's weird. You said a jazz bar. Let's see if they have one. I do like this image, but hold on, let me. I'm just gonna download that one to save it. But I do want to use something else as well. Let's see what else they have. So again, finding your resources is what you need to do. Look for a lot of free stock photo websites. Google is great, Google Images, but if you go to Google Images, 9 times out of 10, you're only going to the first page on Google Images, and everybody in your class, meaning on Twitch, is using those same images, okay? I'm just letting y'all know, right? You go to Google Images, nobody goes past the first page. They're like, ooh, this is here, this looks nice. Now, how many of us as streamers did the same exact thing? Ooh, this looks nice, and you're only on page 1. That means 9 times out of 10, somebody else probably got the same image as you on here. That's how we all end up with similar looking graphics. Because most of us go to Google Images and only go to the first page. Now, look for Google, what you should be doing is Googling free stock photos, and then look for websites that have photos that's uploaded by photographers, right? Not just random people on a website, and utilize those images for your scenes, is what I'm saying, okay? So, think a little bit about unsplash.com. Is pretty cool. I'm going to put that link in the chat. Hold on. I'll put that here. I don't even know if y'all can hear the music, but I have music on really low because I can't work in silence, right? Alright, so unsplash.com is in the chat. Let me go. I actually like this. You could also still clippets of stuff, though, right? If you want to use other things, right? From other parts of images. I guess for the sake of time, we can use just the one we have. What about this one, Kush? What do you think? That one too? Alright, we'll play around both. You like that one, I kind of figured. I was like, she don't like this one. Okay, let's just go with that one. Alright, so that one's downloaded. We'll play around with that one first. Alright. Yeah, as Kush said, there's tons of free website that offers free stock images. Please don't use the first page on Google. Putting the memo out there. Alright, so here's an image that we just downloaded. It should pop up in any second. Right? So, is the photo the size I need it to be? No. But it's fine. What I'm going to do... I got too many things in my hand. Hold on. Let me put this down. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out a little bit, right? Right? And I want to fit this on the whole entire screen. So I'm just going to use my selection tool up here, right? That's what that's called, the move tool, right? Use it to select your images and move it around. So I'm going to drag this around here, resize it to fit some way, somehow. It's kind of, right, it's fine. We'll fit it in there, right? I just wish it was bigger. I'll do something fancy later. Let's see if I can figure that out. All right, we're going to leave it like that because I don't want to make it too... Alright, we'll do it that way. Alright, so we could actually crop and cut off the edges and all that. I don't like doing that. I'm what you call a non-destructive editor. So I don't delete pixels. A lot of people do that all the time. That don't really work well, right? I'm trying to remember which button on my key. Oh, there we go. Keyboard. My short keys. I don't use this to design too much on, so I was a little lost on which keys to use. Alright. So now we got this lovely image here. We don't need this guy in here. But we want to put ourselves behind this nice bar. It's a flat image, right? Now, how do we get out this bar? It's a good question. Yeah, you're right. You're right. We can do that, but I like this image, and we're gonna do something with it. We're gonna make it work, right? I could always re-edit images and recreate pixels on the side, right? There's a way of doing that. Actually, I haven't taught that in a minute. I'm gonna look back. I did a lesson on that, right? There's a way that you can on Photoshop, right? That you can take a missing area and replace it with the other stuff. But yeah. Oh, you're talking to the other people. Okay. All right. My bad. I'm like, what? I was like, yeah, you can do that. Don't call me big head on screen. Don't mess with you. Alright, so I want to select the bar out of here, right? So I can do a couple of things. One, I need to unlock this image. Right now, this image is a smart graphic, as we call it, right? We got Bam Bam, the DJ, in here. Yes, don't call me big head on screen. For those who don't know, Selection could hit me in the head with a pillow and then call me big head, right? That's not nice. She's mean. Alright. So I'm unlocking the image. Wait, why did it do that? 1 second. Let me rasterize this. Alright, so I need to rasterize the layer because it's a smart layer. That's what I did. Alright, so now I'm able to access the pixels because it's no longer a smart image, right? So, let me select this, what I want to do on Undual. So there's multiple ways you can do this. You can select, and this is a really dark photo, so it's kind of like more work in a way. But you could use what's called magnetic wand. And you could go around it. And again, Canva has some really cool tools that allows you to do this. And do all this extra stuff. Now, do we need to do the whole entire bar? What do y'all think? Bam Bam, don't laugh. She's abusive. Her mom told y'all. Alright, so I did a really rough selection. It's not a good one, right? I just want to show y'all how I'm going to separate it, right? Really rough selection, right? And that was the the magnetic selection tool, right? You can use it freely to kind of just select certain parts of your graphics. Now, what I want to do with this, right, is remove this. I'm going to edit this a little bit in a bit, right? And bam, bam, yes, we are creating today. I'm utilizing my teacher skills with you guys, right? Some reason my Photoshop is really large right now, and I can't get access to my other parts. So there we go. All right, so let me click here. All right, so I want to be able to take this part out, right? But I don't want to delete it. I don't want to do anything to it, right? So I could do what's called a mask, right? And it gives me just that section. But did I lose my image? Not really, right? But I forgot to do one step. I was supposed to make 2 of these images. My bad. The teacher's distracted because, you know, Mr. Scush is calling me big head, and then these other people said something. Right? So I need 2 of these images, right? And I'm going to delete something. Hold on one second. Let me delete this layer mask. Okay, great. All right, so I have the same image twice, right? I have one with just the bar. And then I have one that has the regular image. So now it's completely separated, right? Now, is it really clean on how it looks? No, right? So to do a little bit extra work, I know it's extra work. Sometimes I go in here and I try to kind of bring back some of the image that's missing. And how I do this, right, is I change the opacity on this, right? So I can see some of the area. Right? Now I'm not going to leave it like that, just so I can work, right? And I use my little paintbrush here. And this is some of the technical stuff with Photoshop, right? There's other ways of doing it with other images, right? So I'm going to use my paintbrush, and I'm going with my paintbrush here. And I'm going to paint back in the areas that I want to see on the bar. So I'm cleaning up. And again, I'm doing this with my mouse. I'm not used to doing this with a mouse. I have a tablet, or I use my trackpad on my laptop. That's how I usually draw on here. So I could do this and kind of paint in the areas that I want, the extra areas that I want. Do I need the other areas to be perfect? No, right? I don't. But I need to be able to put me behind the bar and it doesn't look crazy. Yep. I was like, Kush, could you send me a picture of like somebody standing behind like a character? But I'll get somebody from Google, right? So that's the bar, right? So it's separated. So the reason we have 2 different pieces, right, is we want to put this in our Streamlabs exactly like that. So you could take this as one separate image and put it on Streamlabs, and the other one as another image and put it on Streamlabs, right? Alright, so I have my bar. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to hide it for a minute. Now I'm going to go over here and bring this back so I can see something. One, we don't want this guy in there. So there's this cool tool in here. Let's see if it'll work. Which is called, where is it? I'm trying to bring it up because I always forget the name. Wait, the healing brush, right? So they have a healing brush in here, and they have other stuff, right? Sometimes I use this to cheat and get rid of stuff that I don't want, and I don't really care about doing anything. Or you can use what's called a patch tool, right? We don't want him. So I moved him away, right? And what it's going to do, I put the little selection over here with the patch tool. It's going to create like a mathematical visual equation to remove him and kind of replace that area. So now when I deselect, which means remove the crawling ants, he's gone, right? We said bye-bye to the dude that was there. He turned into UK Web Boy. He's now invisible, right? He's invisible, right? He's gone. So that was called the patch tool. So UK Web Boy is now there. He's the invisible man. Poof. Be gone, right? So he's out of there. What else do we want to do with this Kush before I kind of go into something else? What do you think? What do you think? Do we want to change anything else on here? Alright, I'm going to look for a fake little DJ to put in here, right? Because I'm not going to go to Streamlabs. I actually don't have it on this computer. I need to... It's on my other computer. Switch it, right? Alright, so let's say I'm going to get a fake little DJ. Hey, Kimmy. So I'm going to get a DJ from Google, right? Let's say... I'll put it here. Just put DJ, right? I could just Photoshop myself in there, but I'm being lazy. Actually, you know what? Let me see. Let's see. He looks like a Twitch streamer. Let's use him. Right? Alright, so here's our little fake Twitch streamer for today. Right? And I'm gonna cut him out as well, right? Real quick. His deck is massive. Like, what is this? I said deck, okay? I didn't say anything else. Alright, happy Sunday. Alright, so, alright, so I'm gonna cut him out real quick. I want just his... He said, oh Lord. I said deck. I didn't say anything else. I wanted to clarify, because y'all be hearing things and saying stuff, and I'll be like, oh my god. Like, yo. I forgot what I said the other day on one of my streams. I was listening to it. I said lonely, right? And it was Janet Jackson's song playing. And I guess the way I said it with the sensual tone of the R&B playing, it sounded like the one with the H instead, right? I was like, oh my god. Okay. You didn't hear it. Come on, Kush. Don't play with me. Alright. This is our little fake streamer for today. Alright. We'll clean him up later. We don't need all this in his deck either. His deck. Okay? His deck. Alright. I'm just gonna remove some of this because I don't want it. Alright, so... Alright, so I'm going to paint away some of it. So what I created here, I know I didn't talk about it because I did it last week. If y'all was here for last week's episode, we talked about layer mask. And what a layer mask is essentially a way of hiding pixels. It's called non-destructive editing, right? And we use it to hide pixels so we don't have to delete them. And when it's kind of like when you're streaming and your whole area is blocked out because the camera is picking up, well, the computer software is picking up on the green and knocking out that area. So it's kind of the same thing, but just done in the Photoshop world. Oh, feel better, Kimmy? I know. You was once. Oh, I didn't realize you said to put myself. Yeah, I'll do that. We'll do that later, okay? I'll put another one of me. I need a screenshot of me streaming. I don't have one. I have to go into my thing. You want to email it to me real quick, Kush? Or you're probably not even at your computer. Never mind. You gonna send it to me? Okay. Alright, his deck is really huge. I don't want to know that. Alright, so I'm gonna take him. And plop him in here, right? And I'm going to hide some of his stuff in a minute, right? Let's say he's hanging out over here somewhere in the bar. And there you go. He's in there, right? So that's how you would lay yourself in there as well, right? If you had your own scene set up like that. So what do I want to do with this? So I'm going to take all of this right now. And let's say I want to test this out. I'm not even going to, I mean, I could put it in the overlay like that, but actually, you know what? Let's pop the overlay over this. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Joe. It's here. All right, so I'm going to drag the overlay in here. And put it in here. So that's our streamer. And that could be us, right? Like the same exact day, right? So we put it together same exact way inside of StreamYards, right? We have the one image that we save with our bar, which where it's here, right? Let me hide him. So let me turn this off, right? So this, and this. So how do we get this into StreamYards, right? Or Streamlabs, I should say, or OBS. So when you're saving your images, right? You want to save each piece. So you'll save this, you export this as an image and put bar, right? And that's one piece. So when you upload it into Labs, right? You want to be able to put this image as a separate image, a separate asset inside of your Streamlabs. Then you're going to put the other image. So what I would do, let's say if I build a packet right now for me to stream it, and I wish I could open up StreamYards today and do it with y'all, but I know my cutoff time is around 2 something, right? Because I got to do some actual teacher work, lesson planning. So let's say I build a folder of assets for the Soul Raid, right? So I'm going to put Soul Raid. Oh, Kush went to go get my image. All right. So I'm going to put assets here, right? And in here, this is the bar. So I'm going to hit save. We got that. And that's now saved as a PNG. So let me save this overall file because I didn't. Because it's a Photoshop file, right? One second, I gotta do something. Alright, so I'm gonna save this overall PSD file is what we call it, right? To my computer. In the folder for Soul Raids, right? Soul Raid edit, or I put scene, right? So I have the whole Photoshop file. We can't put Photoshop files inside of Streamlabs, just to let y'all know, right? So now I have that. I have the bar. So next up, I'm going to export the background, right? The whole entire bar itself, the image. So now I go here, again, export again. And I'm going to rename this because, again, I'm saving each piece of my assets, right? So I'm going to say scene. And for short, for me, I put BG for background. So I'm going to do BG, right? Scene, BG for background, right? Then, is there anything else I need to save on here? No. So now I have all my pieces. It's literally 3 pieces, right? Because now I have the overlay, which is here somewhere. I'll put it somewhere. Oh. As well. And I save that to my folder as well, right? So this is in my folder. And under assets, right? Click OK. So now if I look at my folder inside of my computer, which I have tons of files, this is all I need for that one scene, the overlay, and everything that I have for this for the scene for my design, right? Now, I know I talked a little bit about colors earlier, so I want to play around with some colors and show you guys some cool techniques before we kind of continue, right? And show you guys some other cool stuff that you can do, right? So, remember I talked about setting the moods, right? Yeah, you save each piece in a layer, and then you import each piece inside of StreamYards. I mean Streamlabs. I keep mixing them up. Inside of Streamlabs, right? As separate images, and then you put them together in the correct position with your own green screen video, so that way you're in between everything, so that you're not hanging out, because some people don't know how to separate where they want to place themselves in the design itself. So I'm put this back up here. So that's how this guy got here. So technically you're behind there, right? Behind the bar, behind that one piece of image, and the big image is back there behind you. All right, you said purple and gold. Okay, so let's say that this bar is way too dark. It doesn't fit with the color scheme of what we want to do, right? So we can do something with this. If you're thinking that this is stuck this way, it's not, right? So what I did with the overlay is I added a color, right, and created a texture over it. Let me fix this. So I'm gonna pick an image, or actually an image. I'm gonna create a box, right? A rectangle box with a color. Jonah said gold and purple, right? So I'm gonna do this. And right now it's the color black, but I'm gonna change the color. Hold on. Let's do it another way. I'm gonna make this box gold and purple, right? To create like a weird color scheme. Where, I don't know, we can play around. We'll play around with it. Let's see. We'll try different things. So I'm using the special effects layer down here, which is called layer styles. If you guys remember, I talked about it earlier. And what I want to do is add what's called a gradient, right? A gradient adds a transition of 2 or more colors in it. And I'm going to put it over the bar, right? So when I do this, Jonah said purple and yellow, right? So if I add some yellow in here somehow, so I'm just picking colors, right? I want a more goldish yellow, right? All right, let's say I added that. So it transitions in between purple and yellow, right? Which in the middle, yeah, it creates like a pink. But what I want to do with this is use what's called layer modes, and you can add different type of like effects on it, where it'll affect the images in the background normally. Why is it not responding? Hold on. Oh, I have to do something. One second. It should respond. Alright, 1 second. Let me do something to this. Should work exactly the same way. Alright, let me double check something. That's there. And this is here. Alright, I'm gonna rasterize this and figure something out. Something's weird going on. Raster layer. Why is it not moving? Alright, I'm gonna try something else. I don't know why it's not responding. Hold on a second. Oh, there we go. Raster layer style. Alright, let's try it now. There we go. Alright, so I had to rasterize the layer to make it work or affect the way I wanted it, right? Not sure why it's doing that weirdness, but okay, it's that. Images here. Oh, I must have deleted half the image somehow. Or did I move it? Oh, I did move it. I was like, what's happening? Alright, hold on. Let me fix everything. Apparently I dismantled everything. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna put him back in place. Alright, he's there. I'm gonna hide him for a minute, actually. Alright, so let's say if you want to create some type of different techniques. So a lot of you, right, want to use the same graphic, but you want different color schemes, right? You could play around with different color schemes using this particular tool, right? And it gives you a different effect, right? And these are called blend modes, right? And in photography, because I actually used to study photography, I used to actually shoot in conventional photography, black and whites, film, print, and all actionists, right? So these are like filters that we used to use in photography to create different effects in a photo way back when. And you could play around with them to kind of give yourself a different feel with colors that you pick on here, right? So if you wanted to look more blue or do anything to it, you can do something like this. Now, if you wanted to bring back like that purple lettering that they had there, you can do something with that as well, right? So if you want, you can put a mask on it, on the colors that I chose, right? And you can paint in back like certain areas that you want to see. So that way it's not affecting that, right? And it'll give you the colors that you had before. So that's there too. I don't want that, right? So it's pretty cool to play around with that. So you can see the difference in the colors. I think I actually like the trying to think of what I want it to look like. I love the bar, right? That purple that it came out to. What do we think? But it did affect other areas of the photo that I don't want, right? Y'all sure know. What do y'all think? We like the color of the bar. Not too happy about the top part of it. So let's say that I want to change a couple other things, right? So I can go in here and add in some more effects, right? You like it the way it is? Okay. I mean, we can leave it like that too. The only thing that's bothering me, and that's just me being weird, I was like, the flowers are not white anymore. But that's just me being weird. Let me see. Hold on. Can I get the flowers back? Is it gonna... same thing. All right. We'll leave it. All right. So let's say we were happy with that. We could leave that there. Now, the only problem is that adding this on here, right? The effect doesn't really go for everything. So we will have to merge this down on here and then kind of do the process over. But we already have all our separate pieces, right? So what I would do for me is I would duplicate the same exact layer with the color on it. I know I'm getting real technical right now. I wasn't trying to go that extreme. Alright, I'm waiting for my computer to catch up. It's like, Jen, you're doing too much. Oh, hold on a second. Before I lose y'all, my computer's dying. Alright, we back on. Hopefully I have to plug it in. Alright, 1 second. Alright. Alright, we're back. I'm sorry. I have forgot to plug in my computer. I was like, don't die! I was like, oh no. Alright, so I'm duplicating the same color layer. And I'm going to merge each one of them down onto the images, right? And let me show y'all what I'm talking about, because I know y'all can't see it. Let me hide this. And I'm going to hide... Let me see. That. And I'm going to hide this. Right? So currently what I have revealed in my layers, and yes, Kush is going to yell at me in a minute. Kush is always yelling at me and telling me, oh, you need to name your layers. I'm like, listen, I'll do it afterwards. You should do it with it. I'm like, no. Like, I'm working. I'm in a creative zone, right? So the bar is perfectly fine the way it is, right? And we're happy with it. So let's say that all I got to do right now is merge this down. And what merge down mean is putting the two layers together and make it become one, right? So I'm going to merge this one down on this. Hit apply. Should have just got rid of the rest of it. Hold on 1 second. Undo. 1 second. I got to cheat. I forgot I got to do one more step. Where's the button? There we go. Okay. So I need the selection here in order to put it in this, in order to get it to apply to what I want it to go to on here as well. So I'm going to do this. So I'm adding selection here so I can hide this colors that's here, right? And that's all there. So now we're all set, right? I have all my pieces. I didn't delete anything. I don't even think I have to merge anymore, actually. I'm thinking through the process. Nope. I don't have to merge. This is separate, right? That's separate. And this gives me more flexibility, actually, leaving it this way. And I'll explain why in a minute. Alright, hold up. There's one more thing I want to do. I want to get rid of this color on this side here as well. Hold on. 1 second. Alright, that goes there. Alright, perfect. Alright, so now I already have all my images, right? This makes it a lot more flexible the way I have it right now, right? So right now, what I did just now, let me explain what I did. So I created what was called a gradient, like, square shape, right? I applied it as what's called a color mode on top of it to blend in the colors from that object that I showed y'all earlier, right? This. If it comes up, right? This to add in there. Now what I want to do with this is I want to be able to use this at any given time to kind of do anything I want with it. I can always come back in here and add other ones on here and make it work. It's really up to me. But now I have all the images and stuff I need. Everything is here. I can resave it. That's what I did earlier, right? So I'm going to go in here and let's say I want to resave my bar. I'm going to hide this, this, and this. I have my bar. And now I'm going to hit File, Export again. As a PNG, remember you need the transparent area. I'm going to my assets. I already had a bar earlier, so I'm just going to replace that image. Or, if you want to have a version 1 and version 2, that's fine. You could put 2. That one is purple, right? You have more is better. And then you can go in again and save this background image, right? So again, File, Export. And going back into my assets. And I'm going to save this as the scene. And I'm going to give it the name, put number 2 there. So now I have all the images I need for this here. So later when I go into my Streamlabs, right, I'll upload all those pieces of images and have my scene with my design and my overlay and everything laid out. I want to show you guys the folder. So here are all the images in my folder laid out here. What you said, UK Webboy? Layer the big desk. What do you mean? You want me to layer? What are you asking exactly, UK Webboy? What do you mean by layer the big desk? What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying? Alright, so now I have all these images here. I'm good to go. I guess we have a few more minutes to do something else, and then I'm most definitely going to get out of here because I do lesson planning and cooking for the rest of the day. Alright, so we almost finished, right? We pretty much got most of the stuff that we needed for our stream. What's next? We could create a flyer, right? Hey, Mishi. We can make a flyer for our project, right? So we can do that really quickly before I got to get out of here. So let's say that now we have all these images, we have everything that we need, right? And we want to make a quick flyer for ourselves. I don't really have to do a lot of work at this point. And I'm going to cheat a little bit because I have some of my images. So let's do a flyer real quick. We're ready for the stream. We have our scenes. We have our overlay. We picked our color scheme. We have our mood. We know exactly what we want to do. Right, Mishy Cakes? And Mishy Cakes had this conversation with me 1,000,001 times. Because when she first started designing her flyers, she'd be like, what do I have to do here, Jen? What's going on, Jen? What's next, Jen? I don't know, Jen. But honestly, Mishy Cakes is very talented and very creative overall because she designs cakes and makes many different things. So that was a transferable skill for her just to bring into all these design programs and just kind of keep it going. Alright, so this is the last part I want to do with y'all really quickly. And I'm going to show you how to do a flyer in like literally 2:15 is my cutoff. 10 minutes, right? I already did my overlay, so I don't need to do a lot of stuff. So if I go into my overlay right now, I have all these images already in here. Photoshop is cool because now I can take all the same images that I built and create this for my flyer, right? Which is what a lot of people should be doing to create consistency in their design. Use the same assets that you created, right? So I'm going to put this here, right? That goes there, boom. Title already done. Now, what I want to add in, another graphic I already created. Here, right? Boom, that's there, right? We almost there. And now I want to add in a couple more parts, right? This part I'm going to do a little bit differently. Actually, no, this could work. Where is that? So I'm going to do this. And grab the background, right? For the texture. Right? So, my flyer is pretty much almost done. Alright, we're just waiting for those to load up. Right? So, I already pretty much have all the stuff on here that I need. I'm going to do some other quick things on here, right? I'm going to add the DJ in here that we made, right? The little fake DJ. Where is he? I put him somewhere. Oh, there you go. Alright, let's add the little fake DJ on the flyer with his big deck, right? Mishy gonna get a kick out of this one, right? The big deck, right? So I'm gonna add the DJ in here as well. Alright, so that's him, right? Now, when is he streaming? What do we need on our flyer, people? What do we need on our flyer? Mishy Cakes. What do we need on our flyer, sweetie? Did you leave me? Alright, so on our flyer, right, we need a day and a time, right? So Soul Raid is happening. What do we need on our flyer? We're creating a flyer for our own show. The date and the time, right? When is this happening? Right? Sorry, I'm over here multitasking. I got a million computers next to me. Alright, so I use my text tool in Photoshop, right? And I go here. And I'm going to make this a lot smaller, of course, right? And I'm going to change the font format because I don't want it to be the same one as the title. And then Black Girl Gamer talked about this the other day, and Black Girl Gamer was my homegirl, right? Using separate fonts, right? If your logo or your main title for your event is one style of font, don't use the same font throughout the rest of your design, right? You don't want to use the same font. You want to give that its power, right? That should be the focal point of your design. You don't want to take away from the rest of the from the logo portion by using the same typography. So try to use something a little slightly different, that it gives it a different feel. But the information, yes, is just as important, but you want to make sure that you have that there, right? All right, so let me see. I'm gonna use something simple. All right, I'll change this in a bit, but so let's say I use this, and now is this good for the font? Is okay, because is that good for the flyer for putting in all that information I just gave you guys? Not right. we want to make that pop as well. So using contrast is important. So you need to be able to pick colors that stand out. In particular, I would just go with white for this, right? You already have purple, you already have blue, you already have everything. White just bounces off of it, and it'll catch everyone's eye, right? So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to put, what is it? We said the date and the time. So let's say that this show is on Wednesday, right? Can't spell. Why I can't spell today? I'm tired. What's wrong with me, Jen? Alright. Wednesday, right? And I don't know why my typography came up like this. Hold on a second. I gotta fix something. Alright, that's better. Alright, so that's Wednesday. And let's say October. What's Wednesday day? I don't even know. I see Kimmy. Kimmy's still hanging out with us. Let's say it's October. I'm just putting a random date. I'm bad with dates. Don't judge me, right? 2023, right? Now the font kind of bleeds into the other side. I need to fix this. So my leading, meaning like the spacing between the font, is very large. So I'm gonna fix this really quickly in the settings here. And go to auto. Should fix itself. Alright, hold on a second. It's doing something weird on my behalf. Computers. Having a glitch, and this should be okay, but it's not responding. Okay, let's see. Everything else is working except the spacing. That is so weird. Alright, hold on a second. Auto. There we go. Okay. Alright, so I have that there. I have the time, the date. Alright. So I could use this, right? Now, it's kind of thin. I can make it heavier. How I do that, in here, they have bold here, right? Thicken it up. You could resize it. So let's say it's Wednesday, October, whatever. You can decide on how you want to lay this out. This is really up to you, right? So let's say I put that like that. If I wanted to, I can make the date and the time bigger. I could decide if I want it centered or versus a line left or anything like that. It's really up to you, like how you want to set this up, right? Sometimes when I do, I also play around with fonts. The dates is important, but sometimes you could emphasize on the day more and kind of create that type of effect, right? So let's say I do Wednesday instead, right? And put Wednesday larger than October. So that kind of creates like more of like a sub heading, right? I'm gonna get rid of this because it's throwing it off, right? So it could go like that as well, right? So it's Wednesdays, October 23rd. And then Mishy Cake said, let's add the time. I'm going to duplicate this, which is what I did real quick. Just copied it. And I want to put the time. Let's say it's 10 p.m. EDT, right? And again, you could play around with different font colors right now. Like you can make something pink. You can make something, you know, a different color with other stuff. Like if you want to make certain stuff different. But think about your contrast, meaning like how it looks, right? Against the color that it's on. And does it stand out enough for your audience, to your viewers or whoever's looking at it, to see it? So you have to think about those aspects of things, right? Another thing you might want to add on here, right? Where is this happening? You can go to Google. This is the time that you could use Google, right? I know I said use stock photos, but you know, this is just a logo. So you Twitch. Thank you for the resub from Struds. Sorry, I can't see the chat because you know the phone things is not working, and then there's all this other extra stuff going on, right? All right, so this is a good time that you could use the logo, right, from somewhere. All right, so I'm gonna put this in here. Now I have the logo. Do I want this big white area in here? No. This time I don't care about non-destructive editing because it's a logo I got from Google. I can just click and delete. That's there. Now I have the Twitch logo here. And pretty much finished, right? Is there anything else I should need on this flyer? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? What else we need on this flyer? Any thoughts? Any thoughts? Streamer? Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. His name. That'd be nice. You're actually right, right? Hey, Soka Reynolds. He needs a name. What are we going to name him? We'll name him Soka Reynolds. Hey, J Diddy. How you doing? Soka Reynolds, welcome in. We'll name him Soka Reynolds. Right? We could choose, if we wanted his name to stand out, right? This is a good time to use different colors. I'm going to get rid of this @ sign on here because it's confusing. Right? And let's say that I wanted his name to stand out. It doesn't look good on this, right? So then I could decide to use a different color. If I wanted to. I could also do something slightly different with it. I can add in a effect on it as well, right? So if I add a layer style effect, I could do one of these where I add an outline around it, and then I'll add a color as well. Why is it like that? Hold on a second. Oh, there we go. Inside, outside. There we go. So I could do one of those numbers on there too, and his name will stand out on it as well. Yes, nerdy stuff, Jackson. I've been on for 2 hours doing, well, almost 2 hours doing nerdy stuff. Alright, so Soka Reynolds, our new streamer here on the Twitch streets, has a show coming up on Wednesday, October 23rd, which is probably a fake date at this point. So 23rd is a Monday. Right? At 10 p.m. EDT time, right? So we have a new flyer. So this flyer is good for what application though? What do you guys think? What app is this good for? Where we... She said, Michi K said purr. So this is good for Instagram, right? But what about your stories? And now Twitch now has stories and all other stuff, right? We need a larger image, right? So this is a good time, right? And I'm going to save this, right? We got a flyer. Go on my computer. I'm going to go to my Soul Assets, and I'm going to put flyer in here. And I'm going to type in IG, right? And that's on IG. Hey, Simply, you missed class today. Alright, that should have saved. What is the, didn't save it? Hold on a second. Oh, it's still loading. Alright, let me wait a minute. I'm being impatient, right? Or, oh, I know what it is. Hold on a second. Let me fix something. I click the OK. Alright, alright. So, this is great for your Instagram posts, right? But what if I wanted to make this, I have to put it in my stories, I gotta put it on my stories on Twitch, I have other places I gotta place it, right? So, right now, what I want to do with this is I want to resize it that is a larger image, right? So, I know Jackson missed it. So, last week, Jackson, in the first episode, we did an overlay with the help of Selectress Mistress Kush and Mixed Master Calvin. They came up with this raid called Soul Raid, right? And I did a flyer for it, but I didn't make it a raid. I just made it for one streamer. If we want to make it a raid, we got to write the long list and all that other stuff like that. Right now, we're just going to leave it like this for now. Again, if you're making a raid, you could do it later. So now you have your overlay. We did our scenes earlier as well, which I'm looking for. Where is it? So raid. Oh, this is the scene. So yeah, so we made our scene as well, right, for it, and we used this image to make it, which I'm looking for right now. I think I just put it somewhere. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So here's our scene, right, and we have all the pieces, Jackson. I do make the animated ones too. I'm just lazy. We could do that in another class, not today. I do make the animated ones. So Saturday Morning House is animated. I'll show you guys what that looks like, right? And I can add more like graphics to move around and do stuff like that, but I just haven't done it all, right? Yeah, but we could do that in the next class. The animated ones are interesting in design, because you have to lay it out just the way you would do it here as well. And then with I'm looking for my folder. So with your overlays or your PSD files in Photoshop, that's what Photoshop files are called, PSD, right? You add in the animation as well. So recently on Saturday Morning House, I decided to animate, actually a good one to do, and hopefully Miss Kush could see this one, right? Where did I do with it? Let me see. Oh, not in here. One sec. I'm looking for one that I animated recently. So I have all your names in here. Y'all see. Right? Kush. Emma Sunday, right? So Emma Sunday originally was a flat image, right? Then I decided to animate it. I'm trying to remember which folder is the newest one, right? So in the animated version of Emma Sunday, well, there's two of them actually. Let me open up the other one. So it has animation, it has a timeline, right? And with this, right, it was different keynotes that popped up at different times. There's the animation. So it was just moving around the graphics and timing it where you want it to go. And you could do that with any imagery, right? You can make emotes the same way as well, too. So. Oh, nah, Jackson, I'm probably have you beat. I've been using Photoshop since I was maybe 18, 19. So the OG Photoshop, right? The OG Photoshop I've been using for 1,000 years. That is just Photoshop. I have Illustrator files as well and InDesign too. So yeah. But this is what the animated files are. It's same files that what I showed y'all earlier, except I create what's called a timeline and add the timeline in to switch up where the graphics are positioned to do the animations. Alright. Alright, so let me get back on what I was doing because I gotta get out of here in a minute. So in here, right, we said we have our Instagram flyer. Now we want to make our story flyer, right? Our thing. Simply, I know you're gonna have to rewatch it. I'm trying to do this every Sunday at 12, but I'm trying to keep it to a 2-hour minimal. But today my daughter's not here, so I was like, I'll give y'all a little extra time, right? So normally I build my files in pixels. I'm being lazy right now and just using that to kind of get it. So 4x6 is fine. You want to make a long. My Google Home is talking to me. A long flyer for your stories, right? So now I have a document, right? Which it was 1200 by 1800 for those who didn't catch the pixels. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take all the graphics from the flyer that we made for the soul right here and just simply drag them over there and reposition them. That's it. That's the only thing you have to do to make this work. Let me get rid of him. We don't need him no more. Right? So I'm going to take everything I have here. I'm going to select it. Right? And you can just simply drag everything over there. Boom. And I'm going to place this here. So now you have more space to do stuff as well. But you can decide on what you want to do with it as a designer. It's really up to you. So now we have our story here. Who's gonna bring extra apples and plantains? Plantains would kill me. You don't bring no plantains, no bananas, none of that. Jen is a highly allergic, so those are not allowed in class. I do accept apples, grapes, strawberries. Chocolate covered strawberries is excellent. My favorite, if y'all want to send those my way, right? Chocolate covered strawberries. I love mangoes, so bring on the mangoes. Me love to you know, suck on the mangoes there, right? The mangoes is good. So y'all can hook me up with that and be good to go. All right, so now what I'm doing, again, this is our story flyer, and I'm just gonna resize this a little bigger to fit in the background, right? And this goes here, right? Boom. Almost done. I'm gonna take Mr. Soka Reynolds, or fake Soka Reynolds, move him to the bottom down here. Now I could decide, you got all this extra real estate is what I call it, like extra space. Use your white space wisely, right? So this image is going to be designed a little bit differently than the other one. Why? Because we have a lot more space, right? And you can decide on what you want to do with it. So I'm going to do it this way. The saxophone could be a little bit bigger now. Everything could be a lot more larger, except this for the most part, right? Right? So again, just repositioning everything to fit within this new real estate space. And then you can decide if you're going to add some additional graphics in here to fill up the white space. Right? White space is important. Or if you don't want to feel like adding extra graphics, simplify your life and shift everything down a little bit and move things around. right? Because right now I don't want to look for any graphics right now. Just put this here, put this here. I don't like the way this is laid out. Okay, there we go. There we go. Right? So now we got Fake DJ. Down here, Mr. Soka Reynolds. And we got a whole nother flyer that you can use for your stories. Okay? So all I did was reposition everything. And you're good to go. Now, if you can animate in Photoshop, as I showed you guys with the other stuff, you have to do what's called create a frame animation, and we'll go into another day. I'm not doing that today. And then you can bring in images at different timing, and different times to have them reveal. You can transition them to like do like a fade in or whatever you want to do with them, as well. But for me, I'm not doing any of that right now. We're gonna leave it as is. Is there any questions while I get my last piece of the cookie about anything y'all saw today? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? All right. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed. I don't think I'm streaming tonight. I gotta go cook. I gotta go write lessons. I gotta go do mama things. Laundry, clean my daughter's room, all the extraness. And pretty much finish up the rest of my day. My next stream for this Jenergy Innovation, we're gonna continue. I think we finished up all the Photoshop stuff that I wanted to do, right? Yeah, we have our flyers. We did our scenes today, right? Which is here for those who were here earlier. We created the scene. So what we're gonna do next week is I'm gonna open up my stream labs, right? Not the one I use now because it's on another computer. I'll open up a Streamlabs for one of my other, for something, you know, on here. And just show you how to lay out your graphics and put your image in it. Not your image, your video in between it, right? So that way you can have yourself behind the bar and all that stuff like that. And we'll finalize that part. We can build one and more additional scene next week. And I'll show you how to, what's called like a collage scene, where you add in just like different imagery and kind of put yourself in different places. So we'll do one more scene next week for the Soul Raid. Then we're done with our episodes. So that'll be episode number 3 for Photoshop. The following month, what I want to do is a series. I'll take a break for a weekend because I think I'll be going away the following weekend. And we'll start doing stuff in November on Canva. So I'll walk through how to do some basics in Canva that you can use for your streams. Flyers and you know, overlays and stuff like that, how you can do that in there. But yeah, remember, all these things are tools. What makes you a designer is the conceptually how you put things together. Consider how you put together your graphics, right? Consider your color schemes. Those who missed earlier, we talked about colors and we were looking at Disney. Disney does a great job of picking out colors or characters to emphasize emotions. So when you're designing for yourself, for your scenes, because again, essentially, we're broadcasters, we're streamers, people are looking at visual stuff. You want to emit that vibe, not only through your music, but also through your visuals, right? So again, if you're doing a performance about you're playing house music, pick vibrant, energetic colors that emphasizes house. You're doing sensual jazz, or pick very calming colors, blues, green. Again, let me go back to my slides for that for a second. Pick colors that make sense for your streams, right? So again, these are colors that emit certain things. Red is for passion. Purple is mysterious, glamorous, right? Calming. Blue is wisdom, hope, and reason. Peace, right? Adding these colors to your stream will create a feeling for your viewers, right? Along with the music and the vibe that you're trying to deliver. You want to be able to do that using the visuals as well, because we are broadcasters. We are a TV show, essentially, right? With music and, you know, we have our other streamers here who also do talk shows. Think about what colors you want to add in there, right? Exactly. Creating experience is what Simply Moi said. You want that experience to be cohesive across the board when you are streaming. So adding that in will help your stream grow, build, and create a feeling for your audience as well. So a lot of the colors I picked in my raids, like I told expressed earlier, I didn't pick them with just like some random intent. I wanted to create a feeling. Again, Saturday Morning House, the yellow and the blues is picked because it's a high energy, peaceful environment of house music, right? I picked that for their intent. If you look at one of the characters in Disney from Inside and Out, Joy, right? The emotion that Joy is, what's Joy's emotion? She's happiness. So because she's happiness, she's blue and yellow. So picking colors to kind of go with that, those emotions is important in thinking about that, right? We'll talk a little bit about balance next week because that's something that I want to do as conceptually with these streams. Is talk about creating balance in your designs. Again, I'm not throwing people under the bus, but we want to make sure we utilize our white space when we're designing. We also want to make sure that we have elements in our design that help point to certain specific things that we want our viewers to see when they're looking at our post. And we want to be able to communicate that effectively, right? Graphic design overall is about visual communication. It's less about the text and more about the visuals. Text is important on there, but the visuals is the first thing that captures your audience, and then the text is secondary. If you don't have powerful visuals that's easy to see and recognize at a thought, because again, us humans have a split second to look at something and just lose our attention span is like of a grape, right? So we don't think like that. We can't process. So we want to be able to look at something quickly, process what it is, and then spend some time kind of combing through it to get some recognition behind it, right? That's pretty much what I want to emphasize on for today. So again, catch me next week at 12. I think we're going to go into, let me look really quickly. Hold on. Let me check. Where we're going to go is I'm starving and I'm going to go eat. But we're going to go into a birthday party. And if y'all have any questions, again, feel free to message me on IG. That is probably the best place to contact me if you have any questions. And I'll be back next week doing another scene. And then we'll do how to lay it out in stream, inside of stream labs. What time is it? It's 2:30. Who is this? This is what I'm talking about, flyers, right? So I'm trying to put y'all on a birthday raid, and I'm not trying to throw anybody on a bus. But they have pictures of people on here, and I don't see who the streamer is. But it's okay. That's fine. We'll just go wherever else, I think. I mean, I wanted to go there, but let me see. We'll go somewhere else. That makes sense to me. But how y'all doing? What y'all eating for Sunday? Like, what's on the menu for Sunday? Because I'm like, Kush told me to make rice and peas, and what she said, she had some lamb, something, I don't know. But I haven't had a chance to get everything. Thank you, Jonah, for being here. Thank you, Mishy Cakes, for being here as well. You know what? We're gonna go into one of my heartthrob. Actually, we'll go to one of my little Brooklyn friends. He hasn't got a raid for me in a while, and he's pretty cool and energetic and funny. I think he has his wig on today. He's hilarious. We'll go over to him. Oh, I can't even do it, right, Mishy? Hold on, we gotta get my laptop. Let me see. Yeah, let me go over there. You're making shepherd's pie with jerk pork. That's interesting. Okay. I don't think I ever heard of that. With jerk pork. That's interesting. Alright, let's see. Alright, we're gonna go over to Raul, who's one of my friends here in Brooklyn, okay? Alright, so I'm gonna check you guys out later. My next stream for music will be on Wednesday for Bang the Damn Drums. I doubt I have any pop-ups anytime this week. So, we have chicken and shrimp over rice. Ooh, okay. Baked chickens, sweet potatoes. And you're welcome, Soka Reynolds. I appreciate you. Always checking in on me. Alright, so we're rating out to DJ Raul, who's my Brooklyn friend. And he's a vibe. I love partying with him in real life. He always told me the girl who's coming whining for hours, right? Robin Blind is in the building. Thank you for lurking. I did see you in there, and I meant to shout you guys out. Again, shout out to everyone who's here. Selection Mistress Chris, DJ Jonah, Simply Moi, Mishy Cakes, DJ Dark Knight, I want to say. And thank you for any biddies, love, subs, all the extra, and I appreciate you guys. Yeah, sharing knowledge is power, so I love to be here to do that with you guys, to empower the community. So let me see who else is in here. Big Teal, I see you lurking. Jackson, thank you so much for being here. Dr. Stretch, and a few other people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Keith Bowen and Sunny Day, BNZ, I see you as well. Again, shout out to y'all all, and y'all have a great weekend. I'm gonna go find something to eat besides these cookies I got buried over here. Right. Right. Bye, y'all. Bye, Jonah. Thank you for being here.
Money is the order of your day. Choosing your ways. Hold on. Rastafari. And there's no plan. For your reason.
Simplicity Sounds is in the building.